City Lodge owns and operates high-quality, affordable hotels targeted at the business community and the leisure traveller.
Right.
Slightly different in terms of their business model because they cater for all LSM groupings.
And indeed, also it's different in the sense that they own all of their physical buildings, which is a differentiator. Many of these hotel groups we've talked about before, some other property fund or pension fund owns the actual physical building and they just have a lease arrangement. Conservatively, Hans Enderle founded the group and it's really built itself up now. Lots of different operations also outside of South Africa too.
Operating in Kenya, the group as well, and it has a market cap of 6.6 billion rand, price to earnings ratio 19.3, dividend yield of 3.3%. Let's talk about this. I mean, this has been one of the stalwarts of the investment community when it comes to exposure to a hotel.
Yeah, and they've done extremely well. They've actually done very big expansion. They continue to expand. There seems to be no shortage of demand for their product. Occupancy rates are up at 70%, 69, 70%.
Because they've got the road lodges, the city lodges.
And they quite frankly will be one of the major beneficiaries of tourists coming to visit with weak rand because of the weak rand. And now despite all the visa regulations, I mean, you don't know what it would have been had those regulations not been in place, but the tourists are actually coming here. I mean, the very latest data I've seen, it's called how many bed nights are sold, is actually up about 14% in the last 2 months. Now, maybe that's South Africans going on holiday here because we can't go overseas anymore, so we're holidaying locally. But the foreign tourists are here. I've done a lot of flying around the country the last month or so. Every plane is full. There is not a single available seat on any plane. So I'm actually very positive, despite the 20 PE. They had good earnings out last time. The earnings growth was quite acceptable. They're very bullish on the outlook. And if you can do this in a poor environment,
We have owned City Lodge previously.
Yes, we've tended to flip-flop between City Lodge and Sun International based on this sector discussion before. But
we're not going to flip-flop today.
No, I don't think so, really. I mean, it's interesting because there are ongoing developments here. Remember, they're opening a new one in the Mall of Africa area there around Kyalami. They're putting a new City Lodge in Newtown, which is quite a
up-and-coming area.
I was going to use a different word, but quite an aggressive move. And Maritzburg, and the big expansion from 2010 really, with the World Cup, really led to a big occupancy fall in 2011, 2012, but it's since
now we're seeing stabilization of
70% occupancy is excellent. Great company internally. Clifford Ross is a good CEO. The management are very good to their staff. They have low staff turnover. Share price chart.
Well, it's gone sideways for a bit now.
But that looks handsome. I mean, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's held up well under... but again, that's underpinned by properties. That's what you'd expect, that it would continue to look at good, trade well.
So we're not going to do anything hot or not?
I'll go hot.
Paul?
No, I'd call it hot too. It's quite small, so it's always been linked to being a possible merger.
You do know there was a more
target.
definitive hot than Sun International from you.
Yeah.
Just putting that on the table.
Yeah.